Good morning and welcome to day 3 of the Reading Rush. This is the apple pie that I baked at 9 a.m. because why not? While the pie is cooling, I'm going to take a shower and then get started on my new book for the day. I'm going to start with Beyond Magenta, which is an anthology written by, I think 5 or 6 trans teenagers speaking about their experiences. So I'm very excited to start day 3. That is not done yet. That needs to be cooked more, or it's just not good. I have been reading Beyond Magenta. I've read the first 2 stories, so I'm about 40% done. And this is the anthology about young people who are trans sharing their experiences growing up and in high school. The first 2 have both been, I think, 20 years old. They're about college age. So this was published in 2014, and it's what is interesting about this is that they're not perfect experiences, and not just that they're not all good experiences, but it's what these people experienced. It's what they went through. It's what they are processing currently still in their lives. And I think there's value in sharing those stories that are not always pretty. And I want to expand on that a little bit, because when I say not perfect stories or not pretty stories, what I mean is that they are complex stories, that they are real experiences that have good and bad, and there's the questions and the emotions and the experiences of not just them but the people in their lives. And I think a lot of oversimplification and generalization can happen to trans people. So getting these firsthand experiences, these stories that are not going to fit a pretty narrative but are true life, I think that's valuable. And it's important for the trans people reading this book to see other trans people being genuinely represented, even if that story is not the same as theirs. They are seeing people being genuinely represented, speaking for themselves. And then for the cis people also reading this book, to just connect to the other human beings. And because I think that is what is lost in cis people who get angry or defensive or scared or confused with trans people. It's like you are seeing ideas of people. You are seeing gendered ideas of people instead of real people. And I think that is what books like this and stories like this can do. I'm reading more of Beyond Magenta, and one of the amazing things in these stories, and when I say amazing, I mean not shocking, but just very apparent things in these stories, is how when each of these people, as young kids, like 5, 6 years old, are just being themselves and just being interested in things that they're interested in. Like just the person whose story I'm reading now was able to wear dresses as a young kid, and the other people in their life just screaming at them that you're not supposed to do that. What does that mean? You're not supposed to do that. The kid has clothes on. They're supposed to wear clothes. I'm about 80% through Beyond Magenta. I'm really enjoying it, so I'm going to try and finish it tonight. I'm a little bit past 10 total reading hours. So the goal for today was 12, so I'll probably have another hour to finish this one, so I'll be at 11. But this is Isa, by the way. She's the best girl in the whole world. I just finished Beyond Magenta. I'm at about 10 and a half hours total, so a little behind my time goal, but I have finished my second book, so I feel good about that. I want to comment on how this book is structured, and there is a note about this at the end, which is what I was thinking it was, which was that, so the, I guess, editor, sort of this book, they recorded several interviews with each person and then formed them into a narrative. And within the narrative, there are sort of short breaks kind of guiding the narrative that are from the editor. And I'm not sure how I feel about that format. I think I would have liked it better if it was just like a direct written narrative from each person. Why? I think and I mean they're all young people, so they're not, I mean, I don't know how good of writers each of these people are, but I felt like each conversation was guided in a way that, even though it was still each person's words, it didn't feel completely like it was the story that they may have told on their own. And there was a lot of, and not for everyone. There was, I think, 5 stories in the book, but for some of them, it included pictures of like what they used to look like, you know, which, you know, I assume and I think did have, like, each person got to approve their section, but it felt a little bit like, if left to their own devices, would they have told that story that way if they were not guided by this editor? But I am not really the person to judge that, so. And so with that, day 3 of the reading rush is now over. I finished 2 books. I feel good about that. I am not sure which one I'm going to start with tomorrow, but I guess we will find out together. So happy day 3 of the reading rush. Have a good day 4.